Imagine standing in a graveyard at night. No wind, no voices. Then suddenly, a bell rings. Not from a church, not from a tower, but from beneath the ground. In the 1800s, this sound meant only one thing. Someone buried as dead was still alive. During the 19th century, fear of premature burial was widespread across Europe and America. Medicine was unreliable. Doctors lacked modern tools to confirm death. No heart monitors, no brain scans. A shallow breath, a weak pulse, or a temporary coma could easily be mistaken for death. And when that happened, the consequences were horrifying. People were declared dead, placed into coffins, and buried while still breathing. This fear even had a name: taphophobia, the fear of being buried alive. And it was not irrational. It was based on real discoveries that haunted families and shocked entire communities. Coffins were later exhumed and found scratched from the inside, fingernails broken, wood clawed apart, bodies twisted into unnatural positions, faces frozen in terror. These were not legends. They were documented cases. And once people realized the truth, a terrifying question emerged. What if it happens again? To solve this problem, inventors did something unthinkable. They redesigned death itself. By the mid-1800s, patents began appearing for something called the safety coffin. These were not ordinary coffins. They were fitted with escape systems meant to give the buried a second chance at life. A rope was tied to the hand of the deceased. That rope ran through a tube to the surface. At the end of it, a bell. If the person woke up underground, all they had to do was move their hand, and the bell would ring. Some designs included air tubes to breathe through. Others had flags that would rise above the grave. A few even included glass viewing windows positioned near the face, so watchmen could look for signs of movement. Graveyards were no longer silent places of rest. They became places of listening, because bells don't ring on their own, or so people thought. As safety coffins became more common, graveyards began hiring night watchmen. Their job was simple and terrifying: sit among the graves after dark and listen. Hour after hour, night after night, every sound mattered. A ringing bell meant hope. It also meant horror, because it meant someone had been buried alive. Some reports claim bells did ring. In rare cases, graves were reopened quickly enough to save the person inside. In others, the bell rang, but no one heard it in time. And sometimes the bell rang for reasons no one could explain. Wind, animals, shifting soil, or something else. Newspapers of the era fueled the fear. Headlines described graves that rang in the night. Communities whispered about bells heard after midnight. Families refused to leave cemeteries, convinced their loved one might wake up alone in the dark. Some people went to extreme lengths to avoid burial altogether. They demanded delayed funerals. They requested their veins be cut before burial. Others asked to be left unburied for days just to be sure. Death was no longer the greatest fear. Being buried alive was. By the late 1800s, medical science began to improve. Better understanding of the human body, advances in diagnostics, and stricter death confirmations slowly reduced cases of premature burial. As confidence in medicine grew, safety coffins faded away. The bells were removed. The watchmen disappeared. The graveyards returned to silence. But the stories never left. Today, if you walk through old cemeteries in Europe or America, you can still find graves with strange metal frames, tubes, or bell mechanisms. Rusted, forgotten, but real. They are reminders of a time when death was uncertain and burial was a gamble. The bells that rang from graves were not symbols of superstition. They were symbols of fear, hope, and human ingenuity. They existed because people refused to accept that death should be final if it wasn't certain. And because history taught us something chilling. Sometimes the dead weren't dead at all. If this story unsettled you, remember, history is full of truths darker than fiction. Subscribe for more real stories they never taught you. Because the past isn't buried, it's waiting to be heard.